Welcome to Friday Friends, RI Elder Info's weekly look at the organizations and individuals providing resources for Rhode Island seniors, caregivers, and professionals.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. It is 9 o'clock on Friday, and you are watching me, Deb Burton, Executive Director of RI Elder Info, and your host for the last 6 years. I think the anniversary is today, or maybe it was yesterday, of bringing you Friday Friends, where I interview other people that are sharing information that you or someone you know needs to know about. So make sure you hit the like button, the share button, the bells, the whistles, the follows, all those social media cues, because today we're talking to a friend of mine about something that is impacting every single one of us, and that is this awful heat. It has been so crazy hot. I couldn't even take it anymore. I had to cut off my own hair. It's just insane out there. And then I got my electric bill and I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And my friend today said, there's ways to save money that will also help keep your house cool. So I know this is something that every single one of us needs to know. So please make sure you share this out so we get this information. Now, as you all know, RI Elder Info is a nonprofit, and we could not do our work without the support of our sponsors. So a huge thank you to United Healthcare, 321 Media, and CareForth. Here's a special message from our friends at CareForth.
Caregiving, first of all, is the most selfless act. You're just on 24/7. In order to do all that, you need someone to make sure that you, as the caregiver, are taking care of yourself. And nobody cares for your family like you do. You love them. The whole program is amazing to get paid for something that you would do even if you weren't getting paid. You're not just one person, but you have a whole team behind you. And we're all here to help.
Hi, Tim. How are you?
I'm doing well, Deb. How are you?
Very good. So
I hope
please,
you're keeping cool.
I am trying to, but I feel like if I just walk from my front door to the car, I am like melting sweat coming down. It's so hot. I can't even take the dogs for a walk. It's insane. Like
I don't blame you. I mean, here in my own home, I as an energy nerd myself, I keep everything monitored. I'm up to nearly 80 degrees and 70% internal humidity. That is uncomfortable.
Yes. I mean, it's been crazy lately. And you know what? As much as I complain about the cold, like this is just, I don't know. I'm not really sure which one is worse. And then like I got the electric bill and thought, holy cannoli. So you and I were talking about this recently, and you were sharing that there's ways that you can save money on your electric bill and not like sweat to death in the house. So I'm like, I got to have you on Friday Friends. So could you share?
Absolutely, yeah. And the good news is that some of the things that we do in the near term, whenever we can to keep the hot out and the cold out, it's usually the same measures. And I was actually talking to a lot of my homeowner clients and people on our email list of, what are the best ways. And the one that I shared ahead of the big June or July heat wave was keeping your windows shades drawn. If you have curtains or windows, it might feel like you're kind of like trapping the heat in, or maybe even being a little bit dark. But the big thing is nearly 60%, up to 60% of the heat that goes to your house comes in the form of sunlight entering windows and glass doors and things like that. It's a lot.
Yeah. Now, I totally forgot to even have you say, like, what is your background? Like, how do you know about energy and energy efficiency for the house? Share with
who is this guy and what is he? Why does he pretend to know these things?
I know, right? You and I know each other, but the viewers don't.
So I'm Tim Graytack. I'm the founder of Restora Homes. We're a building science company. We basically help homeowners develop plans to beat the heat or keep their houses warmer in the winter in ways that are both budget friendly and climate friendly. And at the end of the day, we're all trying to do the right thing. We help homeowners develop plans to do exactly that.
I love that. And so when we're looking at like energy efficiency and the heat and cooling, the energy coming in through the windows, does that mean like we should be looking at replacing our windows, or like how do we make our houses more efficient? Do we just put plastic on the windows and call it a day?
It can feel like that sometimes. Windows, I got to give a lot of credit to the folks out there doing window sales. They definitely have it in their head that windows are the first things to go. Actually, the biggest way is often right above us in our attics. I was doing some work, my own home energy efficiency work, and it was 130 degrees up there. And that can just feel, if your roof isn't insulated or you have the fluffy stuff up there, if you don't have enough of it, it can feel just like a wave of heat, and that stays well after the sun goes down, right? Because it's the sunlight that beats down on your roof, warms up that whole attic space. The sun goes down, and yet 5 p.m. it still feels like it's hotter than it was in noon. What's that all about? Well,
Yeah.
it's the attic. Just one big stored mass of heat.
Which is nice maybe in the wintertime when you want to keep the heat, but in the summer, you're right. It does feel hotter as the day goes by. I feel like I'm in an oven by the afternoon.
So the good news is great resources in Rhode Island like Rise Engineering or even Restora Homes and our contractor networks can install the right insulation to help you keep that attic space heat from radiating down and making you uncomfortable. But it does double duty. This is a longer term project. Might not be able to get it done tomorrow, but if you can get it done in the summer or shoulder seasons like spring or like the upcoming fall, that'll help you in the winter as well, because that'll also keep all that cold air that usually gets in that attic too from making it feel too chilly in your house. And both heat and cold can be just as dangerous on either side.
Dangerous and expensive. So for in the short term, because let me tell you, everything from my groceries to my utilities, everything is going up. If I wanted to conserve energy and save money, I can close the shades during the daytime. Are there any other activities that I can do to try to save money? Is it better to have, not that I could necessarily do central air versus window air? Is there something that's better?
Yeah, so this sounds a little counterintuitive, but actually you do want to keep your air conditioning, central or windows, as in my case, running through the day, because at the end of the day, oftentimes, especially window units, you'll turn them on when you need them, right? When it's peak heat from 2 to 5 p.m. One, that introduces a new load onto the grid, so all that power has to come from somewhere, and we see this big peak in the middle of the day, and that can cause all sorts of challenges. But what we can do is learn a little bit like how big buildings deal with these heat, and they do something called pre-cooling. So you start your day running your home a little bit colder than you normally would, and that basically chills everything down and helps you ride through that afternoon peak more comfortably, but also more efficiently. Because at the end of the day, your air conditioner, it's a heat engine. It's running in reverse. So if you can get it to operate when it's most efficiently, when it's colder, slightly colder out, it does a much better job. It makes better use of the energy that you're putting into it. Does a better job cooling.
Wow, I don't think I would have thought of that, because I was thinking like if it's running throughout the day and if I'm not home, then it's just kind of air conditioning for the dogs, which is nice for them, and I don't want them to be uncomfortable as my furry friends, but there's a budget consideration. So that's good to know that it's actually more economical to start it in the morning when the air outside is cooler. So that's helpful. I don't think a lot of people think of those
Yeah, because
things.
remember, your air conditioner is doing two things. One is it's running a fan to keep it moving, and that's kind of what people feel. But it's also running a compressor, which is what's chilling everything down. That compressor does use a lot of power. So if you can pre-chill the air when it's cooler outside and the air conditioner is running more efficiently, the compressor doesn't have to run as often. So your AC is still running. You still feel the fan. You still feel the cool coming out of it. But the compressor itself is actually running less frequently. That's where you get your energy savings from. Weirdly enough, New York Times Wirecutter did a big piece on this relatively recently, and rightfully so. Right, it's about the same time everyone else is dealing with the heat, but it came to the same conclusions. Running it more through the day is actually better.
Wow, I would not have figured that. Are there other things that we can do in the short term? And then if we're looking at maybe renovating our homes for, maybe we're having our parents move in or our loved ones move in, or we're creating an accessory dwelling unit and we have to like upgrade our systems. Are there things that we could look at for like the future that if, instead of like, oh, my hot water tank, let me do that. Oh, my refrigerator went, let me do that. Are there things that we could maybe do all at once, or like what's the most energy impact bang for the buck?
Yeah, so Restora Homes loves a plan. That's what we're all about, is making a long-term plan for your home and your energy use. The biggest bang for your buck is insulation, because like I mentioned, it's gonna do double duty. It'll help you beat the heat and keep the cold out in the winter. And so that is literally dollar for savings, the best thing you can do. It's not very exciting, and oftentimes it goes
like the rolled pink stuff that we see at our big box stores, or is it spray, or is it foam? Is it like a particular kind of insulation that's better?
Yeah, so those are really good questions, and this is where it comes down to the specificity of your house and the details of it. I live in a home with what's called a vented attic. Basically, I go up there, and it's sort of the ambient conditions. And there, things like loose fill insulation. It's big, fluffy, looks like snow. You can kind of just spray it on the attic surface. That's pretty good. That will work just fine. Sometimes you have like a conditioned space. So maybe you have an attic that's gone through like a renovation and has some livable space up there. There you're going to want to look at things like the pink foams and getting those in the attic rafters that you have access to. Or even spray foam. I know there's a lot of work out there looking at whether old houses can accommodate that or not. And matter of fact, I have an old book on the shelf that says, my house needs to breathe. Or does it? But it does come down to the building itself. And that's where folks like myself and Rise Engineering really do, the heavy lifting of building science and say, okay, this is what makes sense. This is what makes sense for your house, and here's what we can do. But by and large, the loose fill insulation or directed spray foam will do some really good wonders.
That is awesome. And so, is it for Restore a Home? Do you work with Rise Engineering, or tell me more about Restore a Home? I love the name, by the way. I love the play on the New England accent.
Restora, yeah. Being a New Englander, old homes and getting used to drafts is certainly me growing up. But the way that Restora works is you come to our website, schedule an intake, and then the next step is we'll show up and actually do a real in-depth assessment, looking at your whole house as a system and understanding the comfort and energy needs, as well as today and what you might need in the future. And then from there, we'll actually work directly with contractors to do the actual work. So these are the HVAC contractors, insulation contractors, and maybe even solar if that's of interest to you, to actually get the work done. Because at the end of the day, that's their job. They're very good at those types of things. But understanding how all these bits and pieces work together, that's tough. They usually do, stick to their lane, and it's what they're good at. But it's folks like me that are there to pull all the pieces together. Rise Engineering is a wonderful company. They do some great work for our communities to keep old homes efficient. One of the challenges, though, is that it's a utility-funded program, thanks to Rise Energy or Rhode Island Energy, and because it goes through a lot of utility checks and balances and what's called cost-benefit analyses, there's kind of limits to what they can and can't do. So we look at a much broader solution set than Rise Engineering, and then we also look over longer time. So we're not just here for the project in front of you today, which might be an installation project or something like that. Plan for that. Can we use energy efficiency savings today to pay for replacements tomorrow? That sort of thing.
Wow. So, and you can coordinate all of that. So it's not like, give me like, oh, here's my recommendations, and then I'm left like, okay, which plumbing company, what electric company, who's doing, is that a good price? Are you registered? Are you insured? Are you, workers' comp, general liability? Like, you kind of coordinate all of that for folks?
Yeah, it's tough to understand. Listen, as a homeowner myself, it's tough to know what I should be asking and why I should be asking for it. So Restora is here to kind of knit those two pieces together. And our whole purpose is to make make hard energy decisions very easy for homeowners. Okay. And so that's entirely our job. So we'll happily bring you the right contractors, do the vet work for you. Definitely say if you're comfortable with them or not, and then we'll also be there to oversee how the work is actually being done. At the end of the day, we're doing it to a system level specification. What's best for your home as a system. Sometimes contractors might only look at one particular piece and optimize for that one particular piece.
Right.
We want to make sure that everything works for you.
Right, and where your goals are even in the future, and what your finance reality may be today.
Yes.
So if folks wanted to reach out to you, is there a phone number they should go to, or call, or website to go to? How can they find you?
So the best way to reach us is through our website, www.restorahomes.com, RESTORA. And there we have a whole scheduling platform. You can schedule your quick 30-minute intake call with us. There we'll be able to understand your home, your needs, your priorities, and what our next steps are. And then we can go from there.
That is awesome. I am really glad that you had the time today to come on, because I'm really tired of being way too hot and then just having heart palpitations when I get my electric bill. That's an all-electric house. So I'm so glad you're able to come on today, Tim, and share this information, because I am 100% certain that I am not the only one going through this.
No, I'm going through it as well, and it's the charm and challenges of all these old homes in New England. They're lovely to be in, and sometimes not. We try and make them more worthwhile.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Deb. Thank you all.
Everybody, these days with this kind of heat, please make sure you hydrate. Drink plenty of water, even if you're not thirsty. Do what Tim said. Turn your AC on a little earlier in the day, because it does make it a little more efficient. You can close the curtains and really reach out to see if there are opportunities to make your house more energy efficient, because it's not only going to help you as far as the temperature, but it will also help as far as your utility bills. And my goodness, the way everything's going up, we could all use that help, right? Now, I am so glad that you all joined me today, and you're going to share this out, right? So your friends are also not baking in the heat and then like taking deep breaths when the power bill comes in, right? Okay, great. I really do appreciate it. And don't forget, on Saturday, August 15th, from 10 to 1, we are having our 7th annual Calling All Veterans Day event. It's going to be at the CB Museum Memorial Park again. That's over 21 Iafredi Way in North Kingstown. You, your friends, your veteran friends, your non-veteran friends, your neighbors, come on down. It's going to be an amazing event, even better than the prior years. I am so glad that you've all joined me. Take a sip of water. I look forward to seeing you next week. In the meantime, be well and be kind.